Welcome to the Channeling Spirit Virtual Summit, a platform where we have invited Spirit to share messages, healings, and transmissions with all of us. May this energetic experience help us to expand our awareness and to deepen the relationship we have with our higher self, our spiritual team, and with Source, however we define them. Thank you for being here and for taking part in this amazing journey. Welcome back to the Channeling Spirit Virtual Summit. My name is Daniel Martinez Stahl. I've been forgetting to say that all season, actually. Interesting. And joining me today is Dennis Merenda. I hope I'm pronouncing that okay.
Perfect.
Yeah. So Dennis is a friend of Shannon's, and Shannon, all of you will have known if you've listened to this or any of my work, because she's with me a lot. She just spoke yesterday, had a wonderful conversation with her. So Shannon introduced me to Dennis. It was actually Shannon that a few seasons ago said, you know, you should really invite a medium. And I thought that was a wonderful idea. And I had some space this season. And so I reached out to Shannon and I said, who do you know that you would recommend? And so here comes Dennis. And so I will let Dennis introduce himself to us, and then we will go from there.
Fantastic. Thank you. So my name is Dennis Merenda from Australia. I'm a psychic medium. I've been doing this work for, I've lost count. It's been years. Started developing myself as a medium in my early 20s. And been working on my craft and my art of mediumship, which is a passion of mine. I love it. I do it whenever I have the opportunity to. I do still work a regular, normal day job. But apart from that, mediumship's just I love connecting to spirit, and I love the sense of I love working with spirit, and I enjoy what it can provide and what it does, you know, being the bridge between the spirit world and this world, and passing on those messages. I enjoy what I do. I love what I do. And I always strive to do the best that I can to represent spirit as truthfully, as honestly, and as accurately as I can. Everything that I've learned, it's kind of been together in collaboration with my team, my guides. It's been everything that I've learned and everything that I've kind of I've read a lot of different books, you know, and I've watched other mediums do their thing, and I've always kind of been curious and interested with regards to mediumship. I don't know why, when I was younger anyway, why I was so drawn to it. I've always, losing mum at a young age was one of the reasons why I always wanted to know, well, what happens when we die and where do we go? And there's got to be more than just, what we physically see. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's kind of a little bit about who I am and my journey thus far.
I love that. And I love, again, for those of you that have been with me, I love language. And the word spirit is used differently by different people.
Mm-hmm.
And I use spirit to represent source, or the energies that are in spirit form, which for me is the same. Like they're an extension of source, even if they have an individualized sense of self. I refer to spirit as all of us in that energetic space. However, spirit is also what I grew up with as my spirit, which I refer to as my soul. My energetic sense of self is my spirit, individualized for Daniel. And Shannon and I had a conversation about this the other day, that it isn't just Daniel. My soul can play with multiple lives and whatever.
Yep.
But I don't want to go into that too far, but I do want to talk about how many of us refer to, think about ghosts as spirits, and our loved ones that have transitioned come back as ghosts or as spirit. And so Dennis specializes in connecting with people that have transitioned and messages that they are bringing back into our experience to help those that are left behind, or to assist in expanding and releasing grief and a lot of other things as well. But he's got a very specialized channel for connecting with spirit, which is really interesting, because most of the people that we have here on the show are channeling, the druids, archangels, Yeshua, teams, collectives, masters, and which is the reason that I think Shannon was interested in bringing in a medium, because that represents a different style of channeling. And as much as I am not particularly drawn to that, I appreciate it and love it. And what I really loved about Dennis is that, like you said, he's passionate about it. He's drawn to it. It excites him. It's something that he wants to develop a stronger skill set for, specifically in connecting with this aspect of spirit and in sharing messages in this way. And so it's really powerful when we talk about spirit to also keep in mind that the word spirit, and I put that in air quotes for those of you that are listening, the word spirit is used by many of us in different ways to represent different aspects of arguably the same thing, but different aspects of it. So there's a question that's been shared already. If it's okay, Dennis, how long did it take him to develop his skills? Interesting, he has a day job too. Is that related to his work?
How long did it take me to develop my skills? Years. It took years, and I'm still developing. I'm still working on my skills. I think you're always with regards to mediumship anyway, you're always constantly working on it. I'm always working towards perfecting my connection to spirit and perfecting the way in which I communicate. So it's something that I'm forever working on. And it's I laugh because it was difficult. It was challenging. It was challenging in the beginning because you always fight with that sense of well, you're fighting with your own ego in the beginning, and you're fighting with that feeling of am I really connecting to spirit? Am I really doing this? Is this real? Are the message? Am I portraying spirit as honestly as I can? Am I really connecting, or am I just making this up? So you struggle with a lot of that in the beginning, but you do as I progress forward. I've learned to kind of just surrender to spirit, so to speak, and collaborate with them, because that's what it is. It's a collaboration between spirit, those that have passed away, and myself, and then passing on those messages. So yeah, it is something that I'm constantly working on. You never stop. You never stop learning. You never stop growing, and I never stop wanting to push myself. I'm always wanting to push myself, and I'm always wanting to better myself. How can I get better? How can I do this better? How can I be better? That's just me, I guess. And yes, I do. I do have a regular day job. So I'm a nurse, work in a hospital. So I'm a shift worker. Yeah, so and I just started my career as a nurse at the beginning of the year. Prior to that, I was in aged care, caring for the elderly. So healthcare is kind of my field and what I do, and what I love. So I love both. I'd have to say that mediumship is the forefront of. It's a big part of who I am. I love the healthcare. I love being a nurse. I love being a nurse, but mediumship is always something that I'll always do it in some way, shape, or form. I've always said this, as busy as I can get, as busy as life can be, working and because I work full time. Um, I always strive to try and make time, for spirit to make sure that I am, still making time to do readings when I can. So yeah, thanks for that question.
I think that a lot of people that start to explore their abilities to connect with spirit have that question mark of how do they balance their day job with their spiritual progression, especially if they want to start helping others and working with others, but they don't necessarily want to give up their job. And what I think is really important to kind of share with this is allow yourself to recognize that you can find balance and play with that,
Absolutely.
because there is a way to find that balance. It doesn't have to be black or white. I myself, I don't want to go back to, I want this to be my day job.
Yeah.
This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Something like this expansion, this conversation, this exploration, the working with them, working with us, in whatever way that manifests. Now, I believe that I'm going to go back to the corporate world at some point. I want to do some consulting at the corporate level with a spiritual message. So I want to channel messages for companies. That's one of the things that I want to
Oh,
do. Um,
oh,
I don't know when that's going to happen and how it's going to
mm,
happen, but I trust that at some point, if that's the direction that is right for me, that's what's going to play out. But
mm.
finding that balance is really important. So Sally has a lot of questions. Now, Sally, feel free
Love
to
it.
ask questions. Shoot, go for it.
Bring it
Do
on.
you
Love
want
it.
to unmute yourself and have a conversation with Dennis? Or do you want to just type them in?
Yeah, well, his journey just sounds really similar to mine in terms of like I've got where I am here now because my mom died and I was an atheist at the time, complete ashes to ashes, and I just thought, where is she? What and she soon kind of started to send me stuff to make me realise that she's still around. Um, I guess as well, I work in healthcare, and are your colleagues aware of what you do and can that do you help people in your job? Do you use your abilities to help people in your work, or is that must be quite difficult in terms of approaching people, or maybe you could keep the two completely separate?
So people do know. Well, at my job currently now, because I'm kind of newish in the hospital. I mean, I know people know me, I know them. My husband works there as well, so there are people that know me or know of me. There are quite a few that do know that I'm a medium. Some know, some don't know. A lot of people do know. I have kept, I have tried to keep, I've tried to keep both separate. So a lot of people, the one common question I often get is, "Oh my goodness, how do you go to work? Like, aren't you just bombarded by spirit? Like, aren't you just overwhelmed by, like, you're trying to do your job and then there's an old lady trying, someone that's passed away. Like, how do you do that?" And I always say this. To be honest, do I get bombarded at work? No, I don't. I don't. Even when I used to work in aged care, no, I don't, because I've learned to. You have to switch off. Like for me, I have to switch off. I have to learn to switch off. And to be fair, for me, there's a time and a place to do a reading. And when I'm doing readings, I want to be present, not just for spirit, but for the person that's receiving the reading. So there's a time and a place for it. And to be honest, when I'm at work, I'm so busy and so focused on my job and what I'm doing that I'm not even aware of what spirit's doing. I'm just so focused on my job. So it naturally seems to just kind of separate themselves. I have had on occasion things that have happened, when spirit's been so insistent, that so strong that I can't ignore it. But generally speaking, I keep the two separate. But yeah, interesting. But with regards to what you said about losing a parent, that was me. As I mentioned previously, I did lose my mother at a very young age, and that for me was one of the things that did spur me on wanting to know, well, where is she? She can't just not exist anymore. I never bought into
That
that.
was
I
like
was
me.
baptized Catholic, went to a Catholic school, from kindergarten to the very end, to high school. Never kind of brought into the whole hell thing and the whole preaching of like each to their own, no disrespect to any kind of religion or faith. They all have their place and their purpose, but I just didn't resonate. It just didn't resonate with me. Yeah.
And that, because I'm at this, I guess, very start of this journey. I'd like to be able to develop my skills. I've experienced knowings and people around. And how do you? What's the kind of stepping stone to try and develop them? How did you start to develop your skills, or whatever you want to call it?
Yeah. So when I some, every medium that I've spoken to, and I've spoken to, I know a few mediums, we all have a different kind of story. Every medium is different. We all work in different ways. So how I started really developing and realizing, oh my goodness, like I'm actually connecting with spirit. Um, I was always it wasn't until my 20s that I really started seriously kind of, developing. So I'd moved out of home with my older brother, and we moved in together. And eventually, he moved out and moved in with his girlfriend. And I was there on my own by myself. And it wasn't until I was by myself that because I was always drawn to mediums. So I'd watch John Edward, I'd watch John Holland, I'd watch Lisa Williams. I'd always drawn to mediums. So fascinated. I was so keen and so fascinated and so interested in what they do, how are they doing what they do, and I'd go to meetings, I'd get readings, I'd physically go to a live demonstration of mediumship. I'd do all of that, and I'd read books. I'd bought John Edwards books. I'd read his books. I'd jump onto YouTube and I'd watch YouTube clips of other mediums doing what they do and how they do what they do. And I went out and I bought my first deck of angel cards, a deck of Archangel Michael cards. I'd never had anything, never had a deck of cards before. Went out and bought myself a deck of cards. And I just sit there with my deck of cards. And that's how I started. And I just read for myself. I'd pick out, it would all be intuitive. I didn't read the book. I'd read the book and consult with what the card means. But other than that, I'd just do it instinctively, intuitively. That's how I did it. And then I'd practice with friends and I'd start reading, I'd do card readings with friends, with people that I knew that I was comfortable and confident to do. And even then I was very, very nervous. And then and for me, connection with spirit, I feel it. I feel spirit. I'll feel the spirit first. So I'm a big feeler. I've got nerve endings everywhere. Big, huge empath. That's who I am. I was a very, very sensitive little boy. I was always told when I was little, you're too sensitive, Dennis, you're too sensitive. What are you getting upset for? You're too sensitive, too sensitive. I was told that my whole life. Makes sense now as to why I was so sensitive, because I was so perceptive, because it's energy. Everything's energy. Connecting to spirit, it's energy. Connecting to source, it's energy. We are energy. So essentially what I'm doing is tapping into and connecting to energy, and the energy happens to be spirit. And so I'll feel them right here in my heart space. And then as I'm feeling them, I'll connect. And then as I'm connecting, it's mind to mind, thought to thought. That's essentially how I work with spirit. And then it's just, and over time, and the more you do it, see, it's something that you constantly work on and develop. It doesn't necessarily happen overnight, but you have to be disciplined as well, I think. For me, I had to be disciplined in terms of wanting to perfect myself, wanting to push myself, wanting to the best way to know how you work, and the best way in order to kind of tap into and discover what your connection is by doing readings. You have to just get out there and do it, and that's what I did. And the first time that I did, a reading on, because Facebook, I do a lot of readings on Facebook. It's where I do a lot of readings there. The first time I went live, and did some readings on Facebook, I was so nervous. Oh my goodness. It was one of those moments where I thought, oh my goodness, like once I'd finished, it was one of those moments where I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. I cannot believe I just did that. And amazingly, everything that I said obviously had made sense in some way, shape, or form. It made sense. But yeah, so it's a journey. It's something that you're constantly having to work on. And it's yeah, for me it was uh not difficult. I don't want to use the word difficult, but it was challenging. It was challenging in the beginning, but it's one of those things where you just practice, practice, practice. You just got to get up there and just do it. Just do it. Got to be brave and just go out and do it. Yeah.
Gosh, thank you. I really appreciate that because you're so right in a number of things you said there. Oh, can I just, I don't want to hog this show, but can I just ask sort of one final thing as well? Is how do you see, you say about knowing, because I get that knowing, occasionally I see and hear and feel stuff too. How is it just the knowing, or do you see, hear, feel? Sorry, I don't know the words. I'm not very good at the language
Yeah,
for this.
all good. I know exactly what you mean. I really appreciate your questions. So for me, the first is I feel spirit. I'll feel the energy. I literally feel them. So I don't see them in the way that people think. I don't see and hear spirit the way that people assume. Oh, that's how you must see them because you can. I don't physically see spirit. They may give me images. So the things that I see, they'll give me images of certain things, but to be honest, the images, I don't really get a lot of images. First and foremost, the way that I work, it's my feeling. So I'll literally feel the energy. I feel spirit. I'll feel the information. So, for example, I'll feel spirit come step into my awareness, and then I'll be like, okay, I'm feeling this is a male. I feel that someone's grandfather, and I'm feeling that he had cancer. And then I'll relay that to the sitter or the audience and say, listen, I've got an older gentleman. He feels like he's a grandfather. He's also making me feel like he had cancer. He's also making me feel like da 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 da. And he'll give me, as he gives me information, and that's the forefront of how, because every medium is different. Some of them might be clairvoyants. They might see spirits. Some of them, on occasion I do hear spirit, especially when they're a little naughty and I'm trying to sleep. I do sometimes hear little chitter chatters. Which is the next, I actually had been noticing that's the next thing that's kind of been developing for me is my clear hearing, clear audience. But it's first and forefront, the way that I'm connecting with spirit is that feeling, and I'll be drawn to it as well. It's because it's energy. Everything's energy. So I'm literally drawn to the energy, and as it steps into my awareness, I sense, okay, there's some, I'm not here, I'm not by myself now. There's something that stepped in, something or someone, and it could be a dog. I've had pets that come through in readings as well. Animals have come through in readings as well. So and I'll sense it. I'll be like, okay, I feel like there's a dog here, and he or she's saying da 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 da. So yeah, that's essentially in a nutshell. I hope I've articulated that as well as I hope I've articulated that well, but that's kind of
You
how it
have,
works for me.
absolutely. That was
Yeah.
fantastic. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Pleasure. Thank you.
So Kelly talks about the fine line between being afraid to do it and the excitement of doing it, and it can be exhilarating. Can you kind of talk about what was it like for you as you started to develop these skills and moving forward through that? Because for a lot of people, it can be scary to be exposed to the fact that they're listening to a dead person speak. It's like, wait,
Absolutely.
what am I hearing? And am I talking to ghosts? Because again, our society has such a stigma around ghosts and speaking to dead people. That phrase itself comes from a movie, talking to dead people. So there's a lot of negativity around this subject that can put people off. Can you kind of talk to that a little bit?
Absolutely. Yeah, look, Hollywood movies and TV shows don't really do it justice. There is a certain perception in the public of what mediumship actually is versus, like what it actually is. And I will say, like, as I mentioned earlier, I did start really developing when I was in my early 20s. But reflecting back and looking on my childhood, there's so many things there that I was like, oh my goodness, now it makes sense. I was petrified of the dark when I was a young boy, even into my teens, scared of the dark. And for me, it was because I always felt like I'm never quite alone. Do you know that feeling when you're in a room and you just feel like you've got eyes watching you? It was that feeling for me as a kid, as a young boy. And my family would, literally be like, what is wrong with him? Why can't he sleep during the night? Why is he having so much? And I couldn't articulate it. Because I didn't know. I had no idea what was going on. But all I knew is that I was in my room by myself. Like on my own, I could physically see nothing, but I felt like I'm not by myself. There's someone watching me, or there's a presence there. I could just feel it, and even as a young boy. So, um, and for me, that's that freaked me out. It really did. And it took a long, long, long time for me to get even comfortable with the idea, that 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 spirit are there. But I will say, as I've learnt to kind of as I've learnt to work on, mediumship and understand what it actually is, and learn about as a spirit world, and learn about, it's you do learn, like, because you've got to desensitize yourself a little bit, because like I said, Hollywood TV shows and people watching these movies and TV shows, and there's a certain perception, and it's always dark and eerie and scary, and it's not. Spirit aren't scary. They're not here to scare us. They're not here to freak us out. When I do readings for people, Spirit's intentions is to connect with their loved ones that are on Earth. They have messages and they have things that they want to say. That's their intention. That's what they want to do. It's energy. It's essentially, we're connecting with energy. And so once you kind of learn more about what mediumship is, what spirit is, what it means to connect, and then you really, really, it's not such a big scary thing. It doesn't have to be. It was, like I said, it was in the beginning when, I was younger, but the more that I kind of worked on it and learned what it actually is, it's not big and scary, because, it gets perceived that way. It's not really that way. It's not really that.
In the earlier session today, if people are interested in kind of listening to this conversation about how to engage with spirit, I had a wonderful conversation with Kristen about this. But what we talked about, and I'll just be really brief, is as we learn to connect more with energy, we start to realize and recognize that energy is here to help us and to work with us and to support us. And so a lot of these ideas just fall away. And as we allow ourselves to connect with energy and with spirit from that loving, supportive, collaborative way, then we are only inviting those kinds of conversations to interact with us, because that's the only thing that we are interested in connecting with.
Yep.
And so a lot of these concerns and fears that are built up by society, it's built out of ignorance and misunderstandings. And of course, the drama of movies, because they want to sell tickets, so, they're going to dramatize it. And so anyway, so as we get to know, and I don't like saying the word truth, but as we get to know the truth of spirit versus the illusion of spirit, a lot of these fears just disappear, because we recognize that there's nothing to be afraid of.
Exactly right. Yes. Hollywood and TVs and movies don't really do it justice. From it, connecting with spirit is more subtle. It's not necessarily in your face. It's more soft and subtle. For me, anyway. Other mediums will be different, but for me, it's more subtle. And you've really got to learn to pay attention. You've actually got to really learn to pay. I've had to learn to pay real close attention as to what I'm receiving and what I'm getting, what I'm actually getting. Because if you're not really paying attention to it, you can miss it. There's a whole thing to it, but it's not necessarily smack you over the head in your face type thing. It is soft and subtle. Can be quite soft and subtle, depending on the spirit. But you do learn to kind of desensitize yourself a little bit to it. The more that I've developed and learned, and you do learn to surrender and trust and learn and work with spirit, because we have a common goal. When I'm doing readings, spirit and I, we have a common goal, and that is to relay the messages that they have to the loved ones. And I love that feeling. I love it when I've done a reading, and I've had all sorts of different readings. I've had different experiences, positive and negative, and the good, the bad, all of it. But I love when I've finished it and knowing that I've connected the two. And by the way, you don't need a medium to connect with to connect with people, past loved ones. You don't need a medium. I honestly believe that you do not need a medium. We can do this ourselves. It's something that is inbuilt with us naturally, organically. It's there within all of us. In some way, shape, or form, we can do it. And the analogy that I like to use is, it's like learning to play the piano. Some might be gifted, and they might be just naturally be able to just, to play the piano beautifully and learn it. Some of us might need to take extra lessons, and we might need to work really, really, really hard on just having to play a little simple tune. And maybe that's all that we can do. And it's just that little bit. But we can do it if you're willing and wanting to learn, or if you're willing and wanting to make that connection. I think we can do it. We can learn to do it. And I say this, when I'm connecting with spirit, your loved ones would much rather go straight directly to you rather than come to me. Because at the end of the day, I don't know them and they don't know, like, we don't know each other. I mean, on a soul level, that's a different conversation. But humans, like, I don't know them, they don't know me. I don't have their memories that you do. You have the memories you have with your loved ones. I don't have those memories. So everything that I'm giving, that I'm relaying in the reading, I'm literally surrendering my trust to spirit and trusting that whatever they're giving me is whatever they need to know. And I'm just relaying information because, again, I don't have these memories. I don't know them. They would much rather directly connect to you rather than having to go to a medium. And not that I'm trying to, not that I'm trying to, give mediums out of mediumship will always be there. It'll always be, it serves its purpose. But truthfully, I always believe that, like, in some way, shape, or form, we can all do this. It's not something that's, I don't know, it's not something that's, it used to be this thing where it's like, oh, only a select special few. This is my view anyway. It's only a select special few can do it. I don't know if I really truly believe that. I think everyone, in some way, shape, or form, we can learn to do it. In some way, shape, or form, I really do believe that.
I absolutely agree. And, again, a big part of the conversation around this entire platform is, letting you guys know and reminding you that all of us channel constantly all day, every day, the messages that we hear, the conversation that we have in our head. Sometimes it's our own consciousness that we're having a conversation with. And sometimes it's, that side of our consciousness is driven by a loved one or a guide or a spirit or someone else that's utilizing that platform, because that's the only way they can communicate with us is through our mind chatter.
Yes, exactly.
And so our mind chatter then becomes a vehicle for them to use, even if we don't recognize that it's them that we're chatting with.
Absolutely.
And I would say that I'm not very energy sensitive yet. Like, I don't hear voices, I don't see things, and I say this yet because I know that I will at some point. So when I'm washing dishes and I'm having a conversation with Maitland or with Eric, or with Jesus, Yeshua, or whoever, at the end of the conversation, I'm like, God, I just made that shit up. But then a part of me knows that I didn't. Like, I know that I was having a conversation with them, and the ideas that were popping in my head that I was hearing through my own voice, my own internal voice, wasn't me. And so I'm learning to differentiate that the more that I play, and learning how to communicate, learning how to channel, learning how to connect with spirit. And it's called subtle energy for a reason, because in many cases it's really, really subtle, and we need to learn to tune into it, to extend our senses to be able to recognize it more easily. So I love this conversation. I think it's very pertinent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you suggest a way for us to become more sensitive, to feel more?
That's interesting, because for me, I've always been so sensitive. So I don't know anything other than to be sensitive. I'm so so perceptive to energy. Always have been that way. It's the things, a lot, what is the saying? It's the things that you don't say that I really pick up on. It's that to suggest how to be more sensitive. I think learning to sit there, meditating is obviously a great way. People ask me, "Oh my God, do you meditate? Do you meditate?" Not really. I mean, I do, but not in the sense of sitting there with my eyes closed, and I don't do a lot of that. Meditation for me is, I'll put my music on, I listen to some tunes, I'll go for a walk. That's my meditation. Music for me, I love music. It really put me in zone. So I think to be more sensitive to energy is just to sit there and just to get to know your own energy too, I think. Start with yourself, start with you. Sit there and just get to know, literally just sit there, even with your eyes closed, whatever works for you, and just literally just feel your own energy and get to know yourself. Get to know, this is what I think, get to know yourself, get to know your own energy, your own aura, get to know who you are first. Start, noticing what you're picking up on, what sensations are you feeling, what things, what thoughts come to your mind, and just go with everything. And I used to do this in the beginning. I'd get a book, an empty book, which I literally had in front of me. By the way, sometimes when I read, I scribble. I'll write things down, and I'm a bit of a scribbler. I like to connect like that. Whatever works for you, and that may not work for you, but for me, that's what I did. Get a book, get a pen, and literally sit there, and I'll just start scribbling to get the energy flowing. And then sometimes I may just write things down. But that's how I would start. That's how I did start, is just sitting there, just literally feeling my own energy and feeling the sensations I'm picking up on, the feelings I'm getting, the thoughts I'm having, all of that sort of stuff. That's how I started. That's what I did in the beginning anyway, and I still do to this day.
I'll add my own little 2 cents to this. I reference this all the time. Eric, who's one of our spirit friends, in one of our conversations a little over a year ago when we were learning to do this, myself and my friends that I talk about all the time, he invited us to start paying attention to the feeling of the vibration of the individual that was channeling through, that we would start to recognize a difference in when Eric was coming through versus when Maitland was coming through. There's a different feeling to their energy, apart from the fact that they present themselves very differently, and their humor is very unique and very different as well. But what he was inviting us to do was start paying attention to the frequency and the feeling of their frequency, the vibration that they're coming in on. How do we identify them energetically? And it's really subtle for me. It's a lot of focused attention to try and pinpoint that. When people channel, it's one of the things that I do is I try and feel for, how does this energy feel? So when Yeshua channels through Shannon, when he channels through Anthony, it's slightly different because they're going through their auric fields, but there's an element of familiarity with him. When Yeshua first presented himself to me, I knew that it was him because I just knew that it was him. There was a recognition in his energy.
Yeah.
And so paying attention to, first and foremost, what can you do to become more sensitive? The desire to become more sensitive is step one.
Yeah.
Putting that out to the universe and saying, hey, I want to be more sensitive. I want to see my spirit friends. I'm so envious of Sally, who's seeing spirit when we're talking. She's seeing Eric in her room when we're talking to him. I want to do that. So I'm really excited to get there. And being patient with yourself, because we're all on a different path. This is something I remind myself all the time. I am on a different learning path than Sally is. She's learning what she's learning because that's what her higher self is choosing for her, has chosen for her as her path and her journey, because that shows her what is important for her to learn for the things that she's wanting to do in this lifetime. The reason that I have developed my skills so slowly, and I say this lovingly because I know that the more I say it, the slower it becomes. But the reason that I have gone through my journey of being very energy insensitive, to find that sensitivity, to pay attention to that sensitivity, is so that I can have these conversations with you. Because many people that are on this path tend to not know what they're listening for, what they're looking for. And so the fact that I've been so slow allows me the opportunity to say, me too. I am with you. I've gone through that. I know exactly what it feels like to not see, to not hear, to not feel. And now I'm beginning to feel. Earlier in the season, yesterday, as the druids were speaking through Catherine, I could feel their answer so powerfully that it brought me to tears. And I've heard people talk about that. That had never happened to me until yesterday. I could feel their answer. I mean, they were speaking beautiful words, but I could feel what they were talking about. And that's never happened to me before. But now I can relate to that when people say, I was brought to tears because I could feel their answer. Well, Me too. Been there. But
Yeah.
it has taken me, 2 years of looking in this direction very actively, of developing, of stretching, of connecting with as much as I can that draws my attention so that I can expand my awareness, and knowing that I have it within me is the opening part of it. So hopefully that's helpful, Sharon. If there's anything more that you want to have us kind of play with, feel free to raise your hand or unmute yourself or put something in the chat. But hopefully that's helpful.
I think I'll unmute myself. Hi. I think what happened was I had gone to a healer years ago, and she's also a medium. And we had this, it was like a psychic development course, and everyone was supposed to kind of feel and try to, sense whoever the spirit, and I wasn't getting anything. And then she said, oh, and she just got quiet, and she said, your background was so traumatic that you cut off your feelings and you have to get it a different way. And then she wrote the name on a blackboard, and she said, tune into that name. And that's how I started getting stuff.
Oh.
So it was but it's much better because I'm an energy healer too, and my background's nursing. So I've come a long way too.
Wow.
But I still could use some help in that feeling area. That's why I asked.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that what's really important to share with everybody that's listening is that everybody does it differently.
Yeah.
And one of the traps that we all fall into is, how did you do it? Oh, I want to do it that way. And what I'm reminded by Spirit all the time is you need to figure out how it works for you.
That's true.
I channel very differently than anyone else that I know because it's my way of channeling, and it's not what I have seen others do. I am very conscious and aware of what is being said. I'm very much a part of how it's being said. They're channeling through my awareness almost. So it's very hard for me to separate myself, but that's again part of my journey. It's part of how my human works. And so part of it is understanding that listening to energy the way that you think you're listening to energy might not be the way that your body listens to energy. So it's allowing yourself to be open and expansive in your awareness to allow for the messages to come through the way that they do. It might be through your taste, which is less normal than the majority. It might be through smells. It might be something different. It might be a combination of senses that are used. So it's about finding that.
For me, it's more of a knowing. I have that intuitive knowing.
Yeah. And the knowing, I say, is always the hardest one to develop because it uses our internal structure as the foundation. So it's hard to separate. Was that me or was that a message?
Yeah.
And I thank Shannon because she wrote in the chat about with nature.
Yeah.
And that was a good point.
Yeah, I was going to share that because it is a really nice point. And so Shannon says, touching and working with nature and trees in particular to sense the various energies that they emit in connection with your own will also help you to start to recognize things. And she says, human energy is heavier to work with to sense the variations from your own, but nature is easier to notice with your own. And then you start to extend that outwards. So that's a really nice recommendation.
Thank you.
Our learning style may be starting point. Do you learn by seeing or hearing, etc.? I'll let you hit that, Dennis. And people are reminding me privately that they want to have a demonstration of mediumship, and I know that we are going to get there. But I just want to address some of these questions that are active.
Yeah. Okay. So, so learning style is a starting point. So for as I've been saying, I do feel the energy, but it's knowing as well. It's in combination for me. It's in combination with those two. I do have the I'll feel it and I'll know. It's just a knowing for me. It's always been that way for me. They're the two strongest in way in which I'm connecting with the energy. It's the knowing and the feeling. That's just how it is for me. It always was. I'll know it and I'll feel it, and in combination with those two. And for me in the beginning, it was never I can see them, I can hear them. I couldn't see them, I couldn't hear them, and that was and that was the hardest part, because I struggled a lot with myself in terms of, well, but how do I know that I'm just not making it up? Like, where is this coming from? It couldn't, like, how do I know that I'm really doing it? And it was just the knowing and the feeling, and those two combined, um, you know, that that is how I've been able to connect. So yeah, but it's different. Like, yeah, like we've been saying, it's different. It's different for everyone. You know, it's so individualized for each person, and yeah, we've kind of have to figure it out on our own a little bit, only because, you know, you've got to kind of know, well, what works for you, what is that starting point for you, and trialing different things as well. I give different certain styles a go, give different things a go, start trying different things to see what works, what doesn't work, what resonates, what doesn't resonate. That's kind of what I think. That's how I've kind of done my thing. Yeah.
So we can definitely lean into the senses that we resonate more with, but I also want to invite you to not get so caught up in that I want to see something because I'm a very visual learner. And so what am I seeing? What am I seeing? I want to see, I want to see, I want to see. And then that can create an innocent level of resistance as well. So that's why I'm saying about opening up. So if you guys are okay, hopefully that kind of addresses that for you, Kelly, or kind of speaks to that. If everybody's okay, are you okay to kind of connect with Spirit and
Yeah,
go from
absolutely.
there? Yeah. So how do you work? Do you want, are you in a position where you're going to share what Spirit around you wants you to share, or are you looking for people to kind of say, please do a reading for me, and then you connect? How do you want to move forward?
What I do is what I do when I do read, especially in a situation like this, in a demonstration like this. So we're all here, we're all together. I will pick up. I'm actually, as we've been discussing, I'm already picking up on a gentleman that's standing to my right. So I'm already getting a gentleman that's ready to go. So that's how I'm going to be starting. I'm going to be working with this gentleman that I've got. He's going to be giving me information, and then whoever can resonate with it, let me know if the information does resonate. Sometimes it will be drawn to a specific certain person. I'll be drawn to your energy. So if there's someone that maybe particularly doesn't want a reading, let me know. Otherwise, that's how I'm going to be working with. That's how I essentially do what I do, especially when I'm on a platform, arena demonstration such as this. So I was
Sounds
starting
good.
to get, yeah, thank you. I was starting to get distracted because that's what happens with me. They distract me. Yes, thank you, Shannon, for reminding me. Piggyback as well. Yes, that does happen. Spirit they like to get in thick and fast, and this is our message, this is our connection. Let's go, let's do it, do it, do it, do it. The energy is very, very, for me, it's very fast. I do tend to speak fast. I try to slow myself down so that, the energy is so infectious, and it's so it's fast and it's infectious, and it just elevates me to a level I just can't articulate it. I can just feel. I wish you could feel what I'm feeling. Thank you. Yes. I just want to. Yes. So I was starting to get distracted. Was my point? I was getting distracted towards him because I know that I'm starting to pick up on this gentleman that's getting my attention. And so, as I work with him, as he steps into my awareness and my presence, I'm aware of it. Thank you. Yes, I understand that. I'm aware of a gentleman that gets my attention standing to my right. Okay, so I would like to work with him. Let's see where we're going to go. Yes, thank you. I understand that. Thank you. So I do understand that I do have a gentleman, but he's also making me feel like I want to acknowledge the military. Thank you. Yes, I understand that, sir. I feel like I want to acknowledge a military connection for this gentleman. So perhaps he served in the military, or there is a military link somewhere in the family. So I'm being drawn and being, thank you. Yes, I understand that. I understand that there is a military connection for the family. And I also feel like I want to acknowledge cancer as well for this gentleman. So I know that he had some sort of cancer. And it's actually interesting. It's funny because as I used that example earlier, it was actually him that I was picking up on, which doesn't surprise me at all. So if there is anyone that's watching that you understand, because I like to kind of see where I'm going, and Shannon's saying you can take both. Okay, awesome, thank you. Because as I'm presenting the information, if it does make sense, get my attention, and then he'll give me more validation, and then I'll be able to pinpoint where I'm going. You understand that, Shannon? So, and someone is just saying I have an uncle. Okay, cool. So I have a gentleman. I've got a military connection, and I also have cancer. Yes, Shannon. Okay, great, awesome. Okay, cool. I don't know if you want to just type away or if you want to unmute. Up to you. There's no
I'll
pressure.
unmute. I'll unmute.
Okay, cool.
My dad was in the Navy, and I did I didn't get along with him. We were like
Didn't get along.
didn't
Okay.
get along, but I did but recently I did a memorial for World War II that I put his name in for a spot on their wall.
Okay. And this is, am I talking to Barbara? Is your name Barbara?
No, Sharon.
Or Sharon? Okay.
Maybe, I don't know.
Okay, we'll see.
So there's a lot of people that have a connection to military
Okay, and that happens
cancer.
a lot. That's fine. He's going to give me more information. I'll get more information from him. I'll be able to pinpoint where I'm going. That's fine. Okay. Okay, thank you. Yes. And now we need to, so with this gentleman that I've got, he's given me cancer. We've got military connection. And I feel like I want to acknowledge his wife. He makes me aware of his wife that's thank you. He's acknowledging his wife now. Now for me, as I'm tuning and working with him, I can't tell whether the wife has passed or not. But he's making me acknowledge, and I need to thank you. Yes, I understand that. So hold on. Yes. I'm aware of the fact that that his wife is with him, and as I'm connecting to as I'm connecting, let me know if the messages, if the information does make sense, without trying to tell me too much information. But yeah, he's making me feel of his wife. Thank you. And thank you. Yes, I understand that. There's a birthday and there's an anniversary that we need to acknowledge. So perhaps there's one that's just gone or we're approaching it. I don't know if you've said this already because I don't remember. Because I'll tend to forget things as I'm channeling, as I'm reading. But there's either a birthday or there's an anniversary that we need to either acknowledge, or it's been, or it's coming, or it's upon us in association with this gentleman. Or it could be someone in the family. Maybe there's a birthday that's coming up. Maybe there's an anniversary. Shannon, it's your 23rd. Shannon Johnson, it's your 23rd anniversary. Is that what you mean? Okay. Because there's a birthday or there's an anniversary that's coming up. Anniversary today. Okay. And Dad's birthday would have been yesterday. Okay, so there's a few of you again that are still connecting. Anniversary. Okay. Cool. Thank you. Yes. Now, he's making me aware of medals, so I need to be aware of some medals. So either you have his medals or someone's got the medals. There's something, I don't know if this was said to me already. I don't remember, but there's something about medals. Either you've got these or someone in the family has these. There's some sort of significance with medals, like the military medals. Someone's either got these or they're in the family somewhere. Someone's got them. Because he's making me aware of medals. There's something about medals. So Shannon, I don't know whether you've got medals or there are medals somewhere. There's something about medals. Okay. Cheryl is saying son's birthday your son's birthday is today. Okay. Lots of medal here. Okay, so you understand, Cheryl, you understand that.
Can I just ask a clarifying question?
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is that this individual was related to the military. This individual has a wife and there's an anniversary associated to them, or is there an anniversary associated to someone else? Like, is it specific to them?
So the anniversary, not necessarily. The anniversary could be a birthday. It could be a wedding anniversary. Yeah, it could be that.
And the medals that he's talking about, are they war medals?
Yes, war medals, yes. Yeah, so someone's got either his war medal. So Cheryl, I'm reading your comment. Your son's birthday is today, and his daughter has his war medals. Is that what you're telling me? Thank you. Yes, I understand that. So someone's either gone away, he's making me aware of someone's either gone away recently or they're planning a trip. There's some sort of a trip that we need to acknowledge. And him giving me all this information, he's just trying to, and this is what I ask Spirit to do. I always ask them to do this. They're just trying to validate who they are so that you know it's them. I like them to do that. It's important for me. There's some sort of a trip or some sort of a getaway that either you're going, you're being, this has happened or it's coming up. Maybe you're planning some sort of a weekend getaway. Maybe there's some sort of a trip. Okay, so Cheryl, I'm pretty confident that I'm with you. I'm with you. I like that. Thank you. Yes, yes, sir. I think we're happy. So you're going somewhere. Yes, of course you are, because he's making me aware. Because at the end of the day, I don't know this gentleman. I don't know him. But he's making me feel like there's a trip that's coming up or you're going. So you're going on a trip on Thursday. Yes, so he's aware of this. He's aware of this. So is this dad for you? Did you tell me that? Is this dad? This is dad for you? So he's aware of the trip that's coming up. He knows, he sees this, he gets that you're going away somewhere. So he understands that. Thank you. Now he's making me feel like uncle. Oh, is this uncle? This is your uncle? Okay. There's something about education or going back to school. So I don't know if you've got kids or if they're at school. There's something about school. I don't know where to place that information. And sometimes that happens with me. Spirit will give me all this info, but I don't know where to place it. I don't know where to go. So I'll give you the information as it's presented. And that's where I need you guys to step in to tell me, well, this is what that means. This is what this is. There's something about school or education, or either someone's at school, they're going to school, or they're thinking about going back to school. There's something about school. I don't know if you know I don't know if you can resonate with that. But there's something about school, either someone's going or maybe someone's at school. I don't know. There's something about school for someone. Someone's either learning, you're doing something. Oh, you are. Okay, awesome. So he sees you do this. So by him telling me this, that's his way, your uncle's way. Yeah, thank you, yes. Of just letting you know that he's aware. Can I ask, has his wife passed? I just need to know that from you. Has his wife passed? Because he keeps talking about his wife. There's a significant other, his wife. That's obviously there's a close connection. But I just want to ask you, has she passed or not? I can't tell whether she's passed or not. I'm directly connecting with him. She's gone to. Okay, that would make sense to me because he keeps relaying and keeps bringing my attention and awareness to his wife. So, and I don't want to assume and presume that she must be passable because maybe she's not. I don't know. So she's gone to, okay, so the husband and wife are together again. Thank you. And they have a daughter. Did they have at least one daughter? There may be more than one daughter, that's fine. There's at least one daughter. There's a daughter. Now, I'm assuming it's their daughter. There's a daughter that we need to acknowledge, that I need to acknowledge and we need to talk about. Well, we need to acknowledge, yes. There's at least one daughter. Only one, yes. Thank you, exactly, yes. So they're acknowledging their daughter. So this is, again, his way of giving me all this information so that you know it's him. Okay, thank you. Now, are you studying something or are you thinking about studying something or doing something in regards to the spiritual stuff? I don't know what he's talking about. There's something about either I don't know whether you do this.
Yes. It's in this realm right here.
Okay, so whatever it is okay, thank you. Yes, sir. Yes. So whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is that you're either studying or doing or working towards, he sees this. He's aware of you doing this, whatever the thing is. So whatever that kind of, whatever that is for you, he's aware of you doing this. It's an encouragement. It's just on the spirit side of life anyway. It's an encouragement of, yes, we see that you're doing this, whatever it is, to keep going, to keep pushing yourself, to keep moving forwards, to keep discovering, keep learning, keep asking those questions. He likes you to do that. He's aware of you doing that anyway on the spirit side of life.
Thank you.
And this is uncle for you. You said that to me, right? This is your uncle.
Yeah.
Does he have a brother? He's talking about a brother.
Yeah, he had 4 brothers.
Okay, so there's at least one brother that he's making me aware of. So it's a hello from the family as we're kind of, and thank you. Did you have to put down a dog or there's a dog in spirit?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a dog that I'm picking up on as well. So it's a hello from the dog. Now, in regards to decisions or choices that had to be made, the dog's aware of that and it's okay. It's okay. Do you understand what they mean by that? Does that resonate for you? Yeah, okay,
yes,
thank you. So, okay, good. So whatever the decision and the choice was, as difficult as it was or as hard as it was, the dog's okay. The dog is not unhappy. It understands it was its time. It was its time. I can't tell if it's a male or female, but the dog's saying, they understand the fact that those decisions had to be made. You couldn't put it off anymore. That's the feeling I'm getting, is you could not put this off anymore. I just couldn't, whatever that means. But they're aware of the fact. Yeah, okay, good. So
Thank you.
they're wanting to alleviate that kind of worry or stress or whatever that was for you. He wants you to get rid of that, whatever that. Yeah, so you understand that. So please don't worry. Did we do the right thing? Was it the right time? Yes, it was. It just was time. Okay, good. I'm just checking in with Spirit to see if they want to talk about anything else, if I'm going to be moving on to the next. Thank you. Yes, the uncle's just like, he's just going back to his point of just keep pushing yourself, keep going, keep learning, keep discovering, keep doing whatever it is that you're doing, keep on doing it, because there's lots of encouragement from Spirit, not just from your relatives in Spirit, but from your guides as well. There's this feeling of just keep going, keep wanting to further and discover and explore. Play and have fun with this as well. Whatever it is, play and have fun. Think of it as playtime, as self-exploration, all that sort of stuff. It feels, make it fun. You've got to make it fun, whatever this is. I don't know whether any of this resonates, but the feeling
Yeah,
of
it does. Yeah.
awesome. They're saying, have fun with this, play with it, make it playtime, make it fun, make the space, because yes, I understand that. Yes, I've got you. Yes. When you're playing with this, when you're having fun with it, because that will change the energy. The energy will, it's like, because you've got to get yourself into that right mindset, that right energy, energetic space. Thank you. So they're like this way. Keep exploring, keep wanting to have fun, and keep challenging yourself. You need to keep pushing yourself with it though. So but yeah, so unless they've got something else for me, I think I'll love and leave you with that, and I feel like I'm going to be progressing on to the next. While I have some water.
Can I speak while you kind of reconnect? And
Yep, please do.
So Shannon sent me a private message to just kind of let me know that the style that Dennis is working with is referred to as evidential medium, where he's connecting with Spirit and they are directing information through him, provided in this kind of a group setting, in the way that he does. Shannon does it very differently. She connects with Spirit directly in a conversation and then allows the conversation to reveal information. And so there's many different ways in which mediums do the work that they do. This just happens to be one style that Dennis is representing today. And I'm curious, Dennis, is this always the way that you work in kind of group environments, or is it different from time to time?
This is how I work. This is it. This is it's this style of mediumship it's not something that I even necessarily kind of thought out to connect. The way that I connect is just how I connect. This is just how it seems to work.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't want to get distracted from the work that you're doing, but I just wanted to let people know that this is kind of the way that you're showing the evidence through the questions. You're connecting with people through the evidential discovery. So thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you. Okay. Oh, you're welcome. I just see your comment, Cheryl. Thank you. It is unexpected. I love it. Not for them. It's not for Spirit. It's not unexpected at all. They know before me. Every time when I do readings, especially if I'm if I go live on my page, it's always spontaneous for me. It's like, oh, it's a spontaneous thing. Oh, yeah, sure, I'll go live today. I'll do some readings today. It's never spontaneous for them. They always know. Spirit, they always know when I'm going to go live. They know. They're here before I am. They know exactly. They're great like that. They know before I do. Okay. I feel like I'm cool. Okay. Oh, gee, okay. Okay, so okay, so I feel like I don't know how many people we've got here because my view is a bit. Oh, okay, there we go. There's a few of you. There's a bit of you. Okay, don't know. So okay, I want to work with this female. I've got a lady that's kind of getting my attention. A young lady. Cool. I do feel like I've got a young. I do feel like someone. I do feel like I've got someone that's quite young for me. She feels, yeah, she's young to me. Um, I keep hearing daughter. I keep feeling daughter. So sometimes Spirit will do this. They'll now she keeps making me feel like daughter, daughter. So I don't know whether it's someone that's lost their daughter or she's referring to herself as the daughter. Sometimes they do that and it can be sometimes it can be a little confusing. But I'll work with her. As she gives me more information, we'll pinpoint and get to where we're going. But it's either someone's daughter or she's referring to herself as the daughter, but there's something about a daughter. And even though I just finished the previous reading, still pay attention because I still could be connecting with your people. You never know. That has happened to me before. It's happened many, many times. It does happen on occasion, but it's either a daughter or someone's daughter. And thank you. There's cancer as well. Thank you. I understand that. Yes, I got you. There's something about cancer as well with this young female. Um, uh, yeah, I feel like there's a cancer that we need to acknowledge. There's some sort of a cancer there. It feels aggressive and it's an aggressive type of cancer. It's nasty. Yeah, her word's nasty, nasty, nasty. But it feels aggressive. She also makes me feel like if it started off as one thing but then became something else. Um, it started off as kind of one kind of malignancy, but then became something else that's quite aggressive and quite nasty. Um, so she's acknowledging that. Okay. For me, I think as I'm working more with her, she makes me feel like she's referring to herself as a daughter. So there's something about her. Okay, I understand that. I got you. I have a friend who lost the daughter was horrible cancer. Okay, so Cheryl, I'm still with you. The female with the cancer because she had cancer, right? Because it's nasty. I've just drawn on myself. Yeah, there's something about cancer, and I keep feeling or hearing daughter, daughter, and I don't know where to place the daughter, whether she's a daughter or whether she has a daughter. That's where I'm like, I don't. Okay, awesome. Who lost? Yes, that feels right to me though. I don't want to make anything fit, but that does feel right to me because she's referring to herself as the daughter, and it was a horrible cancer because it was aggressive, right? Cheryl, do you know it was very aggressive? Her type of cancer was aggressive. It was because her words nasty, 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 nasty. It was aggressive. Do you know if she had a brother? Okay, so Barbara's like me too. Okay, there's something about a brother. She's acknowledging a brother. Cheryl, do you understand? Do you know that? Did she have a brother or has a brother? Yes, my brother. So Cheryl, this is you. I'm with you. And Barbara, you too. Okay, cool. That's fine. We'll pinpoint where she's going. I understand that. She keeps wanting to talk. I keep wanting, thank you. Yes, I got you. I keep wanting to talk about dad. She keeps referring to about her dad. Now, I don't know whether dad's passed or not. I can't tell. But she's referring to dad. So we need to acknowledge dad. She keeps wanting to refer to dad. I keep wanting to acknowledge dad. She keeps referring to dad. Barbara, she had a brother, her dad passed away. Okay, well, that would make sense to me. That would make sense because she keeps referring to dad. Okay, cool. So, Barbara, I'll work with you and obviously, Cheryl, if it makes sense, tune in because you never know. That could be, piggybacking here. Barbara, I will work with you. So, she had a brother, yes, and dad's passed 2012. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Barbara, do you understand? She keeps talking about the fact that it was aggressive. Her cancer was quite aggressive. She keeps talking about that. Do you understand that? She keeps saying it was just nasty. It was aggressive. It was an aggressive form of cancer. That's the feeling that this is the perception and the feeling she's giving me. It was aggressive.
Yes,
Nasty.
it was very aggressive and it was in between the brain and the eye and then in her neck.
Thank you. Barbara. So it's a friend. a friend who lost her daughter. Okay, so she's and she's young to me. I can't tell her age, but I do feel that she's quite young. But with her mentioning her dad, that's her way of letting you know that she's with dad. She's not on her own. She is with dad. Thank you. Do you understand? Do you know that did they do something in memory of her? There's something that was done on honor. Thank you. There's something that was done in honor of her or in memory of her. So perhaps there was there must have been, maybe there was a memorial, or maybe someone did something. Thank you. Someone's done something specific in memory of her, whether it could be sometimes people do different things.
They put some of her ashes in a special spot that she really liked, and they've got some of her ashes that they want to do a ceremony with, like in the next few weeks somewhere.
Oh, okay. Because there's this feeling from her is they're wanting to do there's either something, some sort of someone's doing something in honor of her, and she understands that. Because she really appreciates that. She really appreciates that. Thank you. Now, did you know her, Barbara? Did you know her?
Yes, I knew her, and actually her mom and her brother have just moved from British Columbia to Alberta.
Okay.
And they just were here last weekend while they were like getting organized.
So
her brother is doing not. I would say he's well, but he's not doing well with the loss of his sister.
Okay, I understand that. Okay. Yeah. So she's acknowledging, she's aware of. Hold on. Yes. It's tough. It's been tough since she's transitioned, since she's gone, because she feels well. Her main point, her first point is that she's well. She does feel, because she pats herself down and she feels well. Again, I feel like I need to. I don't know why, but she's bringing my attention to a dog. There's a dog there, so I don't know whether you've lost a dog or whether she has a dog with her. But there's a dog that she wants me. I feel like there's a dog that we need to acknowledge. So it could be your own. Maybe you've lost a dog in the past. I don't know, or recently, or whatever this is. But there's something about a dog.
They had a family dog many years ago, but that dog is long gone.
Yep. So by her bringing up the dog, that's her way of saying, "Listen, I've got the dog with me. There's a dog that she keeps acknowledging and wanting me to acknowledge." So, So that's why I'm like, well, where do I place this dog? It's either your dog or her dog. So if this dog has, so she's acknowledging the dog. There's a dog there with her, so she's got the dog with her. Thank you. I need to talk about a dream. I don't know if this is your dream or if someone's There's something about a dream. So I don't know if this was your dream or if there was a discussion about a dream, but there's something about, because she's come to, there's something about a dream. I don't want to kind of put my own words into it. I'll let her tell me give me the information. There's something about a dream. I don't know if you know what she's talking about. Either you've had the dream or someone's had the dream. Perhaps someone's mentioned that they had a dream about her, but there's something about a dream that she's acknowledging. Do you know what she's talking about? The dream that someone had? Because she wants them to know that was real.
I'm not sure,
okay.
But her mom recently spiritually saw her quite unexpectedly. Is that what alluding to?
So she makes me feel like whatever that was. So whatever, she's wanting to acknowledge the fact that was real, that it was real. She's wanting them to know that was a real occurrence, whatever that was. She's wanting. Yes, I understand that. I got you. She's wanting, thank you. And the month of November, she's talking about November. So I don't know if that's an anniversary or if that's a birthday, or there's something about November that I feel like I need to talk about, that we need to acknowledge.
So in November, on the 9th of November this year will be where my son passed away 20 years ago.
Okay, so
but she knew him too. So maybe they're together.
Him as well. Okay, even if she didn't know him, it doesn't matter, because Spirit does that. They'll bring through other relatives and things. So I might be moving on to the son. because I think she's going to bring him through as well. Because they'll show up. So Spirit does this. I'll get one spirit that will literally open the door for me. I'll connect and communicate with them, and then they'll open the door for the others, and they'll start gathering. And so what I've got is, so if the month of November resonates with your son, then that's where I'm going to be going next. Because I feel like I'm going to be switching to him. So he's passed. Okay, thank you. Does he have a sister?
Yes, he has two.
Okay, thank you. This is making me, thank you. He makes me aware, he makes me feel like he's making me aware of at least one sister. If there's more than one, obviously he's got two, that's fine. Thank you. Thank you. The first thing he makes me feel like, he makes me feel like he knows how difficult whatever it was. So when we lose someone, obviously that's difficult. It's hard, it's challenging, he knows how difficult that was. He knows how hard it is. He understands that he wants you to. I don't know whether he's come for you in readings before, but he's wanting to show up for you today. That's the feeling he's given me. He wants to show up for you today because he wants to do this for you. He wants to let you know that he's still around. Do you pick up on him? Do you pick up on when he's around you? Because he tries to do things to get your attention. Are you aware of the things he does?
Channel writing. So once in a while lately, he's been channel writing. And the
Lovely.
sister you're talking about is his younger sister. And
Okay.
she took it really hard when he passed.
Oh, okay. Because thank you for validating that, because there was that feeling of someone's taken it really, really, really hard. Okay, thank you. So he's aware of that. He's still around. Thank you. He's talking about dad as well. His dad still alive with us, right? Is his dad with us? He hasn't gone, right? He's not passed.
No, the girls, he's the only one of the four that passed.
Okay. He's talking about his dad, his father.
Oh, his dad? No, his dad's alive.
That's what I thought. Thank you. Yes. So he's wanting to acknowledge, it's like his way of wanting to, hey, shout out to dad. Listen, let dad know that he's thinking of me. I'm thinking of him. So I don't know whether dad does it or not, but he's wanting to acknowledge the dad. Did someone move recently? Because he's talking about a move. Someone must have either moved or they're thinking about moving.
Yes, his dad is planning to move.
There you go. Okay. So there you go. He's talking and acknowledging a move for someone. So, by him giving me that information again, he's just validating so that you know it's him. Okay, so he's bringing my awareness to a specific photo. So I don't know what the photo is. I don't know whether you were looking at a photo recently. Maybe you do this. I don't know. There's something about a photo. Maybe you've done this. I don't know if there's a photo there where you are right now where you can see a photo of him, but there's something about a photo. There's a specific photo, whether you were looking at one recently or you were just, I don't know, if there's one there in a frame where you are now that you can see, I don't know, but there's something about a photo that he keeps bringing my attention to a photo, but it's specific. You'll know what I feel like you know what he means. Either it's in a frame or maybe it's in the room there where you are, or perhaps you were happened to look at one recently, and
Yeah, definitely.
Do you understand what he means? Does that resonate to you?
Yes, because what he's probably even alluding to is that I want to make albums of his life.
Oh.
And it's been requested by his brother actually, and it's going to take a lot of time because he had a lot of medical issues in the last 10 years of his life.
Okay, was the ending for him quick and sudden? I don't know why he makes me feel. Who was quick and sudden? Well, someone else's passing was quick and sudden.
Basically, he did die in his sleep.
Okay.
But I'm not sure about the quick and sudden, but I guess with quick and sudden, yes, he died in his sleep.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. He makes me feel like, were you not expecting him to come through today? Were you not anticipating
No.
him coming? I thought so.
I was listening just to whatever anybody else would have.
Yeah, I love that. Yes, I love that because he's like, he just makes me feel like because the conversation with him, it's feeling, and he's like he's talking, he's like makes me feel like he's like, she wasn't expecting this. It's like that feeling of she was not expecting this today. So of all things she could possibly have done, so this was not, she wasn't expecting to hear from me. Yet here he is. But again, he might have said this to you already, but he wanted to show up for you today. This is important for him, for you and for him. So he wanted to do this for you today. This is important because he knew ahead of me that this was going to be happening. but he's kind of been hanging in the wings, so to speak, waiting for his turn. He's wanted to do this for you today. He wants you to know that he's okay, that he's well. Yeah, thank you. I got you. He wants you to know that. Hold on. He wants you to know that. Yeah, he's well. He keeps talking about a friend or friends. I don't know whether the friends have done something in memory of him, or there's a friend. There's one of his friends that's done something recently in. Whether they're done, I don't know what he's talking about. There's something. One of the
Not
friends
that I
must have
know.
done something.
Not that I'm aware
Okay,
of.
she's
No,
not aware of that. Okay, there's some one
that
of
could
them.
be somebody else.
Oh, okay. Could be. You never know. It could be moving on. Okay. Thank you. Oh, okay. Interesting. Cheryl, do you understand the quick and sudden? Because I've got quick and sudden. Someone's like snapping their fingers, quick and sudden. Cheryl, you understand that? Because I could. Here we go. I love that. You understand the quick and sudden, right? Because if thank you, because I never want to make anything fit. If the quick and sudden doesn't make sense for your son, I've got someone that's snapping their fingers saying quick and sudden. Their passing was quick, sudden. It feels unexpected. It's one of those
Yes.
situations. Okay, great. So I don't even know whether they're male or female, but all I know is it was quick, sudden, and unexpected. It makes me feel unexpected. Like this
Very.
is yeah, thank you. Because this person's like, this is not how we foresaw this, like we didn't see this, you didn't no one saw this happening. It's like one of those situations, this is how I feel. One of those situations where we're like, okay, this is not what we thought we like, why is this happening? How did this happen? Why are we here? We shouldn't be here. This isn't right. This is how it feels.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Is this close family member? Is this a close family relative for you? I didn't even know. Like,
Yeah.
sort of,
Yeah.
yeah, thought so. Yeah, because they're like not quick and sudden, like quick. No, thank you. And they're acknowledging to me as well that like, it wasn't like an illness; it was just an unexpected random thing. It was like something that you couldn't
Right.
necessarily foresee. Yeah.
Totally random.
Yeah, random and unexpected. It's like, oh my God, can you again, it's that feeling of whenever you receive the news, it was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is like I can't believe this has happened. Like how did that like what on earth? What do we do? Like it's that feeling. Yeah, I understand, I got you. It's interesting too because I'm connecting but they're almost that feeling of I feel like, are there questions in regards to what really went down? Like, I feel like there are question marks. Are there unanswered questions in regards to their passing?
Yeah.
I thought so because they give me question marks. They're like question marks. There are question marks, and I'm like, so either they're yeah, thank you, yes, I get you, I got you. There are question marks in regards to how they passed, and it's like, what were you doing there? What happened, and like, how did it happen? Like, there are question marks that still have not been answered. That's the feeling I'm getting. Does that resonate?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So they're aware of that. Whoever the person is, interesting because they're I don't know what the word is. What's the word? Like, I don't know, like being coy. I don't know what the word is, but it's interesting. And the energy of this person is really, really interesting. But they keep acknowledging the fact that it's one of those things. It feels like, like wrong place, wrong time. It kind of feels that way. Like it's like almost question, well, what were you doing? Why were you even there? Like you shouldn't have been there anyway. So why were you there?
Right. Right.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I don't know. Is this an unsolved thing? Is this something? Is this unsolved? I don't know what they're talking about.
No. No.
Okay. There's some sort of mystery and some sort of cloud or fogginess in regards to what really happened. That's the feeling they keep giving me.
Right. Right.
Okay. Thank you. Can I ask you, who is this person to you? Because I can't tell from them.
Say that again.
Who is this person to you?
A husband.
Husband. Oh, husband. Okay. Because I'm like, I can't tell from the person. I can't tell. Okay. Thank you. Does he have a daughter? Do you have a daughter? I
Yeah.
might have asked you that already. I don't, because as I channel with spirit, I forget. I don't know who I am. I don't know where I am. I don't know what I've said. I don't know what. That's why sometimes if I ask you repeating questions, I apologize. I just don't. I don't know where I am or what's going on. Because he's acknowledging at least one daughter. Has this been really, really, really tough for her? His passing's really affected her in a big way. Like it. I mean, it's.
I was pregnant with her then.
Oh wow, that's interesting. Okay. So she never really got to know him. I mean. physically? Yeah, you were pregnant with.
She spent a lot of time with him when she was little.
Okay.
I mean, in the
All right.
spirit.
Okay, got you. But in life, they never got to meet. Is that
Right.
right? Yeah.
Right.
Okay, got you. But they know he knows her. He knows her. He's aware of. Obviously, he knows her. That's yes. Okay, he's acknowledging what you're saying. Okay, that's fine. Thank you. I need to talk about mum. Has mum passed for you? Why am I all of a sudden going to mum?
No, his mom
His
has
mum's
not
passed.
passed. His mom isn't passed.
Has not.
Not.
Has yours passed?
Yes.
I thought, okay, yes, because there's mum. He's all of a sudden said, "This is mum." So that's why I was confused. I'm like, what? His mum or your mum? Couldn't tell. Okay, there's mum also getting my attention. So if it's not his mum, then it's your mum because she's kind of with him. She stands with him. Like I said, so he's the one that's literally opened the door and she's there. So mum's aware of, here we are gathered today, and I don't know whether you expected to hear from her or from them, but here they are. But yeah, your mother's kind of getting my attention as well, so I'm just going to separate them a little bit so that I don't get too confused. Thank you. Okay, yes, darling, I got you. Mum's wanting to acknowledge Dad. Has Dad passed as well? She keeps talking about Dad. Okay, thought so. So, mum, hello from Mum and Dad.
Right.
Thank you again. I don't know whether I said this to you, but are you? I might have said this already, and I could be repeating myself, but I don't remember. Are you doing? I don't know. Are you doing? What are you doing? Are you learning? Are you doing? Oh, what is she talking about? It's like, do you write? Are you the one that writes stuff down? Was that you? There's something that you're doing. What are you doing? Like in terms of your spiritual stuff, are you learning and wanting to further it?
I'm trying to develop all of this right now.
Okay, because she wants to kind of, it's her way of wanting to, I feel like I want to encourage you and I want to push you, like keep going. Like, do you connect with her? Because she likes you to do that. She opened you to do that. You can do that. Up to you. But I don't know whether it's even of an interest. I have no idea. But you can connect with her whenever you want. She's happy and willing to, what was that word she gave me? She just made me laugh. It's like she goes, I'll be your toy, like play with me, like I'm happy to let's sync energies because who better than mum, right? I don't know whether you guys were close, but she's wanting to help you out in that way if you're wanting to. I don't know, but that's how she makes me feel. Does that resonate? Because she's wanting to. Do you pick up on her when she's around?
Yes, it does resonate totally. I pick up on her a lot.
Thought so.
But I question myself and then I pick up on it.
Love it. Okay. So she's like, well, don't do that. Thank you. This is a big moment for her and for you because she's saying, don't do that. This is her way of validating to you, whatever that is, okay, this is a big thing. She really wants you to hear this. So whenever, yes, I got you. I feel she gives me, this is a big, okay, when they do this, I literally get goosebumps. So this is the big thing. She wants you to know this. So whatever it is, when you're connecting with her, this is her way of, first of all, this is her way, mum's way of validating to you that that experience is real. That yes, you are connecting with her. And yes, it really is her. So she knows that the human part of us wants to discredit it, and she gets it. But she goes, so this is her way of coming through to me, whom I don't know her, I've never met her, don't know her. But she's wanting to validate that experience for you to let you know that yes, you are connecting with her. It is her. So she's encouraging you and wanting you to she's inviting you to keep playing with her in that way. Keep exploring and keep trying and keep doing it. She's saying, even if you think you're making the shit up, right? Just do it and just do it anyway. Just go with it. So I don't know how it is for you. So whether you like to write it down or whether you like to speak it, like sometimes so for me, I'll use this example. For me, when I'm connecting with my relatives, when I feel them pop into my awareness, I'll literally have a chat with them like verbally. I'll be like, oh, hey, Grandpa, how are you? Or hey, Mum, I'm feeling Mum today. Oh, hello, my grandmother. So I'm Italian. My heritage is Italian. So Nonna, I'm like, oh, hello, Nonna, how are you? I can feel you. I know you're there. Or Rex will pop in, my dog that I lost last year. Hey, Rex, how you going? So I'll literally have a conversation with them. And it's a quick thing too. They'll pop in, pop out, pop in, pop out. That's how they do. That's how it works for me. So I don't know whether you're a verbal person or whether you like to write it down, whatever it is for you. Your mum's it's her way of wanting to encourage you. And it's her way of wanting you to keep exploring. Thank you. She likes that word. She wants you to keep exploring and keep playing and keep entertaining, like keep going and use her. She wants you to work with her so that you can gain that confidence and that clarity of just connecting. And because she's saying, remember, the relationship doesn't die. And this is a message for everyone. She's saying, everyone probably knows this, but they're saying, Spirit are saying in general, the relationship doesn't die when we pass away. It doesn't die. It doesn't end. It doesn't have to end. It's just a transition. It transitions. That's it. That's all. We're just energy. We're energy. Your mum's like, I'm energy just like you. You're energy as I am. But the physical body dies because it has to. It's supposed to. It's meant to. Your mum's saying it's meant to. We're not meant to live forever and ever and ever. The physical body, the spiritual self, the energetic self that lives. We are eternal. And so that was your mum's point. She's like, connect with me if you want to. She's willing to kind of do that for you. And even your guides are chiming in saying, you know, there are many, many things left for you to explore. There are so many things for you to explore. And I'm going, yes, I understand that. I'm going with this. So your guides are like, keep playing, keep exploring, keep asking questions, keep wanting to do this, keep furthering yourself. But do it when you, I don't know whether I said this to you or someone else, but kind of do it in a playful kind of manner. Be playful about it. You know, don't be so serious with it.
Yeah.
Don't be so serious with it. Don't, because you get in your mind when you're serious about it, like, oh, I've got to do this, or I'm trying to, just let it be a fun play. Go back to that child self when you're just wanting to play and explore and do that. They're saying, your guides are like, we want you to do that. Just do that. Just play. Have fun with us. Even your guides are like, we want to connect with you. I mean, they have been connecting with you, whether you're aware of them or not, I don't know. Maybe you are, who knows? But keep exploring, keep connecting, keep wanting to further yourself, keep pushing yourself, keep doing it. I don't know if any of that makes sense, but it's just this information.
It totally makes sense. All of it.
And you're connecting with your guides though, right? You connect with them because they want to connect with you.
I do connect with them.
Awesome,
Yeah.
love it, because they love working with you. Obviously, they're your specific team, so you've got that. They love that for you. Thank you. Yes. So they like showing up for you. So keep working with them. Keep talking to whatever you need of them. Just kind of the feeling is keep talking to them. Keep communicating with them. Keep doing what you're doing. Whatever it is that you're doing, keep doing it. That's the gist of what they're saying. Whatever it is that she's doing, keep doing it. Keep going. All of this is just a big validation for you, not just from mum, but from your guides as well. It's a big like, hey, heads up, listen, we know what you're doing. We're aware of what you're doing. It's an encouragement. It's a let's keep pushing you to go. Like keep pushing yourself. Keep moving forwards. So
Wow.
yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Do you have
Yay.
crystals? Are you the one with the crystals? Do you have crystals?
I do have crystals.
Of course you do, yes. So I like that. Is there okay, love it. Okay, yes. Is there there's a specific one though. Is there a specific one that you're drawn to most of all the others? There's one that's specifically, yeah, I thought so. Because one of your guides is specific, I don't know what it is. One of your guides is specific about, there's one specific crystal in mind that you're either drawn to the most or you're just connected with it the strongest of all the others. Whatever that is, that feels right. I like that for you. I don't know what they're talking about, but do you understand what there's a specific crystal that's either more, I don't know, it's like energetic. I'm more connected with it. You're more connected with one of them specifically. I don't know what that is. That's how they make me feel. But yeah, from them to you, it's a big heads up. This is a big validation. They're just wanting to validate so that you know that yes, your experiences are real, and whatever it is that you're doing, it's wanting to encourage you. So yeah. I'll love and leave you with that, as I say. Thank you for letting me do that. I hope that makes sense.
Oh my gosh, that was so amazing. It's exactly what I wanted to hear today.
Awesome.
I asked this morning for signs.
Oh my goodness, you're joking me.
On this specific subject, I asked for signs. Oh my
goodness. Well, excuse my French, you can't make this shit up. Like because at the end of the day, I'm the medium.
You just fucking can't.
I do what I do. This is why I love what I do. So because when prior to the session, I had no idea what on earth I was gonna. I never have any idea what the sessions are gonna bring. But they always give us exactly what we need. And Shannon, I know you know this. We all know this, right? They always give us what we need, not what we want, but what we need. And this is something that I've always got to remind, and I don't want to go over time here, but I always try and tell clients and people that do come for readings, get rid of whatever your expectation is, get rid of it, because they, Spirit, your guides, Spirit, past loved ones, they will always give us exactly what we need, not what we want. But ask them. I love that. Like I always say this, ask them, talk to your loved ones, talk to your guides, get to know them. The only way we're going to get to know them is by just communicating with them, whatever works with you. If you're a writer, then great, write it. I'm a verbal processor, so I'll speak to them. I literally speak to them, and I'll talk to my guides. We'll have a meeting. We'll get together. My angels and oh my God, I can't tell you yesterday the amount of signs and the amount of synchronicities and the amount of signs I literally got from the universe and my guides yesterday in the 24 hours was absolutely amazing. Like, cannot begin to tell you how amazing that was. But yeah, so love it.
That was
Cool.
awesome.
Dennis, can I ask if there's any other, if there's another spirit that's kind of itching to come forward, or do you feel like this is a good place?
Yeah, I feel like it's a good place. I feel like we're kind of complete.
Okay.
I'm not picking up on spirit. Yeah.
Okay. So one thing that I wanted to kind of share, and please, this is not an area that I'm that familiar with, so I would love to have you validate what I'm about to say. When people are listening to this, Spirit was working a lot with Cheryl, but I'm sure that throughout that conversation there were things that were said where it resonated with you. And this brings me to the question that I wanted to kind of bring up with you is, what is this idea of piggybacking when you say that Spirit will piggyback in these kinds of things? Because I think this is really important for people that are listening, because they're like, well, Spirit didn't speak to me directly, but what I'm proposing is that they did, even though they were having a conversation with Cheryl.
Yep. I always say, I didn't say it here, but whenever I'm doing a reading, especially when it's in this kind of a situation where there's a group of us gathered, there's a collective of us and there's a group of us gathered, Spirit will come through and they'll give me information, and then I'll connect with a certain specific person and bring through their loved ones, and I'll do that. But I always say this to people. I always invite them and I always say, pay attention with regards to what I'm saying. Pay real close attention with what I'm saying, because if what I'm saying happens to resonate, if any part of that message, even though it's delivered for someone else, it's specific to them, but if any part of that message resonates to you, then the message is for you as well. That part of the message is for you. That's why I always say to people, pay close attention with regards to what I'm saying, because there may be things that will resonate. Now, with regards to piggybacking, Spirit likes to do that. In the beginning, it would frustrate me because it would confuse me. It still can be quite confusing, but you learn to work with it. Spirit will piggyback, and the idea of piggybacking is this. So Spirit have a limited time with regards to when we're connecting and when we're doing readings, however the duration of time that we have together, it's limited. We're not going to be here forever and ever and ever, for hours and hours and hours. So they have a limited time to get their messages through. The quickest way and the most effective way that they can do this is by piggybacking. So they'll literally get together, and so Spirit will come together, multiple Spirit, say two Spirit will come together. Say we've got two different males, they're not related. We've got one person's father here and another person's grandpa here, and they'll literally get together and be like, right, so the messages will come through together. They may come through together and they may blend their energy a bit, especially if there's any kind of synchronicity or any kind of similarity with regards to the information. So perhaps maybe they both had cancer, they both had lung cancer, they both were military men, they both have daughters. There's a lot of similarities with that. And so they'll literally get together and be like, great, let's do a 2-for-1 here. You can get your message through to my loved ones, I can get my message to my loved ones, and let's do it. And so it's the quickest, most fastest way for them to get their messages through, because that's what they want. They're there to connect. They're there to prove that they still exist, that they're still very much are well, but it's the quickest, most effective way for them to get their messages through, in a nutshell. That's what I think anyway.
So as an example, for those of you that noticed, Barbara and Cheryl were both saying, yeah, that resonates with me. Yeah, that resonates with me throughout most of the beginning of that message. it applied to both of them. And so is this what you're referring to as kind of piggybacking?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I know that we kind of went over a little bit on time. So thank you guys for hanging out with us, and I apologize for for going longer than I try and go, because I know that 90 minutes is a lot of time for many of us to listen to these conversations, and I apologize that I love the conversations and sometimes I don't end on time. So thank you for the demonstration, advice, and sharing your experience and journey, Dennis. Fantastic. Lots of love.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
So I know that you have a full-time job, and I also know that this is a passion of yours. And so I would love to kind of, if people are interested in engaging with you, what's the best way for them to connect with you? I know that we spoke about your Facebook page, but I just kind of want to bring it up for people to be aware of that.
Yeah, so I do have a Facebook page. I do have a website. So you can connect me via the website. I'm pretty active on my Facebook page. I think that's probably the best way to maybe connect with me is through the Facebook page. I mean, I'm not doing a lot of one-on-one private readings at the moment just because of work schedules, and I'm slowly starting to get back into it and figure that out. Because I have had, messages from people wanting private readings, so I haven't been doing readings, one-on-one readings as yet. I'm itching to get back into it. But yeah, those that may be interested or wanting to engage, you can the best way is through the website, because then there's links to the Facebook page through there anyway. So, and that's just my name, it's dennismerenda.com, for those that are like, oh, who's he? What's he about? Yeah.
Perfect. And as always, his name's going to be in, and his website's going to be in the description of whatever platform you're listening to this. For those of you that are listening to this live, Dennis is just kind of inviting you guys to connect to his Facebook page, where he does offer free readings periodically, and he will post on his page when those will be. So it's just kind of an invitation for that. And like you said, his availability for private one-on-ones right now is limited, but if you're really interested and you can connect with him, I'm sure you can find a time and a way to work together if the energy is there for you guys mutually to play together. Anything else that you would like to kind of share and kind of leave us with, Dennis?
Just a big thank you to you, Daniel, and to everyone. I've enjoyed myself thoroughly. I love it. Thank you so much for allowing me to connect. For those that got readings and everyone, if you got something out of it, then hey, we my team, my guides and I, we're happy. I'm happy, so I do it because I love it. No other reason, no other need, just because I love it, purely and simply. That's it. Seeing me here now, this is who I am. What you see is what you get. It's who I am. And I've really, I just genuinely, I'm humbled, and I'm, happy to be in the presence of all you wonderful, like-minded individuals. So thank you very much.
So for those of you that are listening, thank you for being here again. This is the end of day 2. The ends of the days are always sad for me, but still, for at least another couple of days, we've got more incredible conversations. Tomorrow we're starting with Alex Vitillo, who I think is going to be talking about how we expand our spiritual businesses. And let me just look at her subject just to make sure I'm not speaking out of place. And of course, these conversations are, responsive in the moment, and sometimes we don't always get there, but her selected topic is 3 tips to help you integrate your channeling gifts into a successful business. So we'll see where that conversation goes. And then after that will be myself. And then we will finish off the day with Samuel Thomas Holland, who's one of my practice buddies. So it'll be a fun day. So hopefully you will be able to join us. So until then, I will leave you with being spirit, being human, and simply being from love. Dennis, once again, thank you so much for coming to play with us. And for all of you that are listening, thank you for being here, for helping us co-create this experience for you, for us. And I will see you next time. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you for being part of this incredible experience. We hope that this session has inspired a new level of understanding within you, allowing you to expand more easily into the essence of your true self and become an even more powerful alchemist in your own life. We invite you to listen to the session again and again in order to go deeper each time and expand even more. Have it be via the replays or the unlimited access package. If you have enjoyed being part of this event, we invite you to tell your friends so that they can join us in the future. We are grateful that you are here, and we thank you for co-creating this experience with us. Until next time, we leave you with being spirit, being human, and simply being from love.